Welcome back to Willoughby Park here in beautiful Langley, British Columbia, Canada. 19 degrees sunny, but a little bit windy here as we continue our PACWEST doubleheader between Douglas and Langara. The women's match earlier today, a resounding 5-0 victory for Douglas, which means the Langara women's go 0-2 on the weekend. Yesterday, the Langara men dropped a 3-1 decision to Capilano University. They're going to look to make amends. They don't want to leave this weekend empty-handed here as they take on the Douglas College Royals. Let's get you the starting 11s. First for the visiting Royals in their traditional green. In goal, number 22, Benoit Lutz. Number 2, LJ Milfries. Number 4, Philippe Capek. Number 7, Matteo Falcone. Number 9, Karaman Luciano. Number 10, Justin Pena. Number 11, Keyshawn Francois. Number 13, Taliesin Kyle. Number 16, Avi Alamu. And number 17, Jacob Krznaric. For the Langara Falcons, in goal, number 22, Adriel Agkauli. Number 3, Hikaru Amura. Number 6, Kazuki Nakanishi. Number 7, Beckham Hatch. Number 8, Tainur Bajgare. Of course, he scored yesterday in the loss against Capilano. Number 14, Georgi Osadchi. Number 15, Kobe Monte. Number 17, Zion Adlam. Number 18, Takaru Kaku. Number 19, Taigo Shimada. And number 23, the captain for the Falcons, number 23, David Rodriguez Zagara. Langara today playing from right to left to start this first half. They'll be wearing all white with a little bit of black and bright orange trim. Meanwhile, the Douglas Royals, they're in their familiar forest green, royal green if you prefer, if we're going off their nickname, with a little bit of white trim as well. It was a tale of two halves yesterday for Langara as they controlled the opening 45 minutes against Capilano, but despite hitting a post, have one called back on offside, and a plethora of other gilt edge chances, they only left that first half up 1-0, and it was Capilano who turned the tides in the second half, scoring 3 unanswered goals on the counterattack to take home a 3-1 result. Langara won't want a repeat of that. Douglas College, however, they have other ideas as well. They met Cap last weekend, and they split both games with them. Both of these squads in the CCAA rankings after week 1. 2 for Douglas, 4 for Langara, so not a lot of distance in the standings, as it were. We'll see how it all pans out here. We're now underway in this first half. Douglas in control. Long raking left-footed cross into the heart of the area, side-footed away by Osadchi, his first touch of the match, drifting infield. Amura, and a little bit of a battle there as well. And it's Douglas that comes away with it. Avi Alamu gets his first touch. It's to the number 9, Luciano. That comes off the midsection of Osachi, and it'll be a throw-in for Douglas. Of course, Willoughby Park here, the home of Vancouver FC in the CPL. Also right next door to the WHL Vancouver Giants. Cross into the area. Adlam puts a head to it. And the keeper had already come out to try and put a touch himself. It created a bit of havoc. Thankfully, it's Osachi and Omura who cleaned up the pieces as Adlam and his keeper had Cowley cross their wires ever so slightly. Offside now on the far right-hand side as Beckham Hatch had drifted into an illegal position. Good first half chance there for Douglas. As I was saying, the WHL Giants right next door at the Langley Event Center, also the home of the former Fraser Valley, now the Vancouver Bandits, the local basketball club as well. So plenty of sports going on here at the Willoughby Park in the heart of Langley, BC, right here on 200th Street, and I believe around 82nd Avenue. Good pass forward there by Francois. Trying to work a 1-2 with Luciano. He comes away with it. Francois on the overlap. He has it in the penalty box now. Francois at the near post. Back for Luciano! Tries to poke it in first time on the right foot. It just scuffs off his boot and carries away from Ad Cowley's right post. Douglas coming out the gates burning here. They've had at least 2 half chances, and it looks like Francois and Luciano are definitely the danger men in these right channels anyways, if these opening, 2.5 minutes or anything to go by. Luciano on his bike now. He's going to take on Osachi in the penalty box. Luciano cuts back to his left foot, still going, poked away there by Monte. And a good shoulder tackle there by Bajgare wins the ball back for Langara. As mentioned, the number 8, Bajgare, the lone goal scorer yesterday in the loss for Langara. Probably could have had a couple as well. He was really cooking in that first 45 minutes. Mark Rizzardo gave him a bit of rest in the second half, and it looked like Langara just lost a bit of steam in that second half yesterday with the substitutions of Bajgare and Monte. They just could never really pick up where they left off in that opening 45. Beckham Hatch is all over the back of, I believe it was Philippe Capek. And it's a foul against the lanky number 7 of Langara. Langara, I should say. And Douglas will get the ball back. It's been all Douglas in this opening 3.5 minutes. Not a lot of chances going forward. Great play there by Luciano as he gives the old inside and outside on Osachi. Great slide tackle there by Monte. Keeps him honest. Right by the corner flag now. Luciano tried to elastico his man. It will be a goal kick though. Well played by Monte. Right up against that right corner flag. Sunshine out all day, 19 degrees and sunny here in Langley, but unlike the women's matchup, it was fairly still for the ladies. The wind is whipping like crazy here in this opening portion of this men's match. We'll see how that factors into some of the aerial service that I'm sure will be attempted during the course of this match. Krznaric loses out in the middle of the park to Bajgare. Osachi gets thumped over there. The referee plays advantage. And I'm sure he'll keep an eye on the culprit there. I think it might have been Luciano, but I could be mistaken. Good sweeping diagonal by Fanzomura. At the back stick, he pokes it forward for Rodriguez Zagara, who had made a diagonal run. The number 4, Philippe Capek on that left side was equal to the task, though. He just thumps it into touch. And Langara now are finally starting to enjoy some flow as far as putting passes together. Adlam tried to throw it right to the goal line for Bajgare, who had gone about as deep as you can. Right-footed shot! What an effort there! My goodness, I want to say it was Nakanishi who just put the laces through that one. It was always rising, but it steams over the bar probably by just a foot. Well hit by Nakanishi, and had he gotten just a bit more over top of that one, that probably nestles just under the crossbar of Benoit Lutz's neck. Fantastic effort there from the number 6 of Langara in the shiny orange boots. Kaku wins the aerial challenge. Osachi just pumps it up the park. It's calmly headed back by Kapek to his keeper. Good play up the center of midfield. It's Falcone who had to shrug off a couple tackles. Rodriguez Zagara wins his tackle there subsequently. Krznaric now on the ball for Falcone. Good defense there by Shimada. Falcone into the path of Francois. He's trying to open up his body for a left-footed shot, but the white shirts are swarming around him. Falcone comes away with the ball, though. He's trying to wriggle free. Pokes it wide left. Still going inside the penalty box. Fantastic play by the winger there. Just trying to read the back of the shirt and can't really make it out. Might have been Pena, actually. No, I beg your pardon. It was actually Taliesin Kyle on the far side, the number 13. With a good lung-busting run into the area. Now they're going to take it short. Kyle's going to get it right back at the top of the area. Sizes up left-footed. Whips in a low, hard cross. Takes a deflection. Falls right on the foot of number 23. Oh, it's a great block there. It was Dakota Lamoth who had to take, turn, spin, and smash in just a sea of white legs. I believe it was Takeru Kaku who got the last block. Good last-ditch defending there by the Falcons, or that would have been a real shot on net for the Royals. Adlam with a long throw. Douglas will get it back, though, right at the halfway line. Good play there by Krznaric. Falcone just couldn't shield off Nakanishi. And now Monte's come away with the ball. He's on the dribble, and this is where he flourishes. Monte, left-footed shot! Oh, what a fantastic stop! I thought he was going to wrap the foot around for a cross there, but he almost bent it into that top corner. It's a fantastic diving save by Benoit Lutz, the number 22 in net for Douglas. It should be 1-0 Langara. Monte gets the ball in a short corner. Might go back to Beckham Hatch. He does now. Hatch sizing up his options. Will cut back to his left foot. Still on the dribble, Hatch. Hooked clear by Luciano. Ooh, Rodriguez Zagara gets clipped. He just got inside Alamu, who hung the leg. And it's a dangerous area for a free kick. Probably about 25 yards out. I beg your pardon. Probably closer to like 20 or 22 yards out. And Rodriguez Zagara, the maestro, number 23, wearing the captain's armband, he will, alongside Bujgare, figure out who's going to whip this one in. Perhaps even close enough to have a shot on goal. We saw Alex Paul of the Langara women in the last match let everybody line up at the back post. It looked like he was coming for a cross, and then she smoked it short side and almost went in. So maybe Rodriguez Zagara saw the highlights of that match and wants to try something equally as creative. Ooh, Kaku had gotten goal side of his man, but Rodriguez Zagara just pumped it a bit too long, or Kaku might have just had a near post flick. Nonetheless, Langara come away with the ball. Here comes the second wave. Beckham Hatch gets past his man. It's a tug back. And the cross comes off the top of the crossbar. Now back into the area. Kaku! It's Takeru Kaku after a great layoff from Monte. And Langara get their rewards. Can they get another one now? Great play inside the first 10 minutes. It looked all Douglas to start this game, but Langara have answered the bell in the last 5 through the likes of Monte, Rodriguez Zagara. And it was Kaku who was Johnny on the spot. It was a great cross from Beckham Hatch as well, it has to be said. He put it pretty much on the goal line. No one could really deal with it. Monte, the first to it, pops it back to Takeru Kaku. And the man from Japan slots it home. It's 1-0 for Langara. Monte flies in there. And you know Mark Rosardo will definitely be in his players' ears. They don't want a carbon copy of what happened in yesterday's matchup. where it was all Langara in that first 45 minutes, but despite the rub of the green, they can only come away with a 1-0 lead going into halftime, and Capilano turned the game on their head through a few substitutions and a few key counterattacks. You know Langara will want to be putting another stamp on this one to just put the result just a bit out of doubt and really make Douglas work for it. Beckham Hatch now by the corner flag, tried to get inside Alamu, but he closed the wickets. Nakanishi has it. Thought about a switch of play for Shimada. Instead goes near left for Monte. Monte goes for a cross. Nakanishi has a bit of a whiff there, and Luciano will come away with it for Francois. He gets his touch wrong, and now Bajgare gets it, but a foul behind the play there on Osachi has it brought back. Douglas ball, 12 minutes in, 1-0 Langara. If you're just joining us, Takeru Kaku, the man in the center of defense with the opening goal. Long, rangy, diagonal aerial ball. Adlam has it, heads it to the far touch line. It's LJ Milfries who comes back with it. Comes down with it, I beg your pardon. The throw in from Kyle there. Does find its intended target of Falcone, but he's pushed over. We have a Langara player down behind the play. Could it be Rodriguez Zagara? I think it might be. I'm looking around for number 23 and I'm not seeing him, so something tells me it might be the captain here, who didn't start yesterday's matchup. And has been down on the deck now for a couple seconds. Well, Rodriguez Zagara back up and at it. Good to see the number 23. Offside there on Matteo Falcone. It's unfortunate because he didn't need to be. He had found himself in a good space and a good position there. Had he just kept his run on side, it would have been a real counterattack opportunity. Francois now playing with a bit of fire now here are Langara, and they've given away its Adlam to Francois. He clobbers his man. It will be a free kick just outside the edge of the area. And Mark Rosardo, the head coach of Langara, will be frustrated with that one. It was an unforced error. They just got a little bit too cute on their own 18-yard line, and Francois was able to pick it off the foot of Adlam. He's brought down, and this is a real chance for Douglas. They're 19 yards away, and this doesn't even need to get up and over the wall from this distance. This could be smashed through, this could be smashed under, this could take a deflection. So all hands on deck here for Langara as Douglas weigh up their options here at the moment. We're just under 15 minutes in. It's 1-0 Langara. Takeru Kaku, number 18 from Japan, has the goal. Everybody for Douglas is in the box with the exception of Tallis and Kyle, the last man back, the lanky number 13. Shot through the wall and just misses wide. My goodness, that's about as close as they come. Fantastic try there from, I believe it was Matteo Falcone, who just tried to open his body up and slot it with the instep, place it. The goalkeeper at Cali was rooted to his line. There was nothing he was going to do about that. A matter of inches the other way, and Douglas have their equalizer. Langara, a bit of a blessing there. It's still 1-0. Luciano cuts inside on Rodriguez Zagara. Zagara staying Staying pat in his position. He wasn't budging there. A good jockey job by Rodriguez Zagara. Good play, though, by Krznaric to win it back, though, for Douglas, who are starting to grow right back into this game after conceding the opener. Right-footed shot, that one blocked by Kaku. It was Milfries who tried to uncork that one, and it looked like it was going to be a stinger as well. So good block by Kaku from about 20 yards out. Lutz. Ooh, a bit of a halfway ball there is picked off by Nakanishi. Nakanishi tries to thread it through for Beckham Hatch, but he was just not ready for it. Was Hatch. Kyle gets it in the meantime, but Beckham Hatch has won it back. Good job by the young number 7, who, when he puts on his tap dancing shoes, he can be a real handful for defenders. As we saw in that opening goal as he wriggled free before smashing in a frozen rope of a cross, which eventually aided Kaku in his goal. Looks like Zion Adlam is now on the deck as he got clumped over by Milfries. Beckham Hatch misplays his pass there. He's just trying to wrap his foot around it, but he got underneath it and it went straight up in the air. Rodriguez Zagara spares his blushes, wins it back, but now he slipped on the ball, unfortunately. Advantage was played. Eventually, it was whistled down as Rodriguez Zagara was throwing in some tackles on the deck. As mentioned, a double header this weekend. Langara men and women each playing 2 matches. The Langara women 0-2. They dropped a 5-0 decision to Capilano yesterday before dropping a 5-0 decision to Douglas today. Langara, meanwhile, dropped a 3-1 decision, kind of against the run of play yesterday against Capilano. They're leading here against Douglas 1-0. Of course, another set of games coming up next Sunday, the 22nd. Ball crossing into the area, low and hard, almost cleared the entire width of the area. Francois was waiting at the top of the box to try and put his foot on it. Kaku eventually clears. He gets it back again. That'll be a foul. And Langara win the ball back. Less than 20 minutes gone. 1-0 for the Falcons, who are playing in all white today. Great win by Bajgari. A perfect nestled header into the middle of the park that Nakanishi almost made something out of. If there was a body there, it would have been the start of a pretty decent-looking counterattack, which is why Bajgari, you could see, throw his hands up in frustration. He was in good position there. Thump ball over top from Adlam. It's going to get to Beckham Hatch if it sets up. The defender, number 23, Johnny on the spot, Dakota Lamoth, who had a great chance in the opening portion of this game as well off a corner kick. Did just enough to stifle Beckham Hatch's momentum. Good tackle there on the far right side by Amura. Now Monte has it. Looking back, Monte. Oh, he gives him the old shimmy and shake, does he? Monte's going for it. Can he get to the outside of Alamu? He does. But Alamu just dips the shoulder at the last second and shields it out for a goal kick. Good play there by Monte, who, when he puts his head down and runs, he's got that low center of gravity and a really good core and just an ability to take and turn and pivot on a dime. He's a real handful for defenders, and we saw that there as he rinsed Luciano quite easily. Looks like Milfries is taking a bit of a whack there from Adlam. He's checking on him now. It didn't look like anything malicious, just a coming together of bodies. Beckham Hatch for Langara's waving on the physio team from Douglas. You know it's bad when the opposition is waving on your own physio. But it looks like Milfries is just going to gingerly, it looks like it's the right leg or perhaps even the back, as he's getting up and he looks a bit tender. He's just going to make his way off to the sideline before being permitted back in. If they do bring him back in, it doesn't look like there's any subs peeling off their bibs or imminently queuing up here for the Royals of Douglas. So Milfries will walk back on the park and we'll continue on here, and the referee will tack on a couple extra minutes here at the end of this first half. Long raking diagonal left-footed ball from Kyle. It's picked off, but regathered by Douglas. Osadchi jockeying for position with Luciano. Luciano turns his man. Good backup defense, though, from Monte. Luciano tries a nutmeg on Nakanishi. Nakanishi was having none of that. And now Bajgari comes away with the ball. He's getting clipped on the heels, left, right, and center, and then gets whacked in the mouth afterwards. And there's going to be a yellow card here. I think the whack in the mouth was unfortunate, but it's Avi Alamu, who's going to get the yellow card first of the match, and he'll be under the caution now, and that'll be a tough position for him. He has to guard the likes of Monte, Bajgari, Nakanishi. So he'll have to be on his best behavior moving forward here. Bajgari still down on the deck after getting thumped a couple times there. Free kick Langara just inside the opposition half. Takeru Kaku. Rolls it back to Adlam, and Langara will start all over again. Good 1-2 between Bajgari and Shimada. Shimada has to get to the outside of Kyle. He does. Back for Bajgari. Raking cross in. Almost found the head of Beckham Hatch. Rodriguez Zagara now. Left-footed shot. He thought about uncorking it. Now he does. Comes off the backside of Alamu. Deflected to Nakanishi. Onside is Monte. He has it by the left corner flag. Can he keep it in? He does. And he does just enough to poke it away from Alamu, who, as I mentioned, on a yellow card now. He can't be diving in for any tackles. Monte will probably be trying to harry him for the rest of the game and try and bait him into something a bit rash. We'll see if that pans out here. Shimada in a battle up the far left-hand side with Luciano. They've actually switched sides with Milfries and Luciano. We'll see if that flummoxes Langara here. Luciano was losing the battle against Osadchi, and Milfries was being isolated quite well by Shimada. We'll see if they get any luck now that they've swapped sides. Shimada gets the ball forward for Bajgari, gets around his man. This is a promising move. 3-on-2. Bajgari, can he cut it back to Beckham Hatch? He tries to loop it in for Monte, and it almost ends up in the back of the net after a series of deflections. Beckham Hatch was wide open there. I wonder if that might have been the better option. Instead, he just tried to smash it low and hard across the area from Monte, who was flashing in at the back post. It almost ended up paying off, but it looked like he took the route less traveled there, did Bajgari, whereas Beckham Hatch was just waiting there, licking his lips at the top of the 6-yard box. I'd love to see a replay of that one. Good play again from Langara. Only up 1-0, though. Takeru Kaku with the goal inside 10 minutes. You can hear Mark Rizzardo. I don't know if you can hear Mark Rizzardo, but I can hear Mark Rizzardo, so I'm going to let you know what he said in a couple of minutes. After this attack, Langara in the box, just a bit behind Bajgari. Good attempt there by Beckham Hatch, who seems to be in the heart of everything promising for Langara right now. Mark Rizzardo just instructing Kobe Monte to just hug this left-hand touchline. He doesn't want him getting too central, and you can tell that's part of the game plan for the Falcons. Keep Monte isolated 1-on-1 against Alamu and get those switches of play going and see if he can really press the number 16 here of Douglas. And Monte so far has been doing a good job. We'll see if Mark Rizzardo's tactic does play off on that switch to Monte. In the meantime, 25 minutes in, still 1-0 for Langara. Beckham Hatch almost takes it off the foot there of Capek. Long raking diagonal ball headed centrally by Adlam to Nakanishi and now Shimada. Oh, good 1-2 there. Fancy footwork by Shimada, and Rodriguez Zagara has spread it right for Beckham Hatch. Central ball for Monte. Just couldn't get in front of the last man. Great play again from Beckham Hatch, who's whipped in some tantalizing service so far in this opening 30 minutes. He just needs more players on the end of it. Good stuff again from Langara, who are passing it around beautifully at the moment. Let's see if they can keep that going. Bajgari flicks it in the air for Rodriguez, who tried to clip it back to himself. Bajgari continued his run. The wind really picking up here. Bajgare gets around his man. The keeper in the nick of time, though. Lutz flies off his line, and at the moment, Douglas are playing with a bit of fire. Their coach, Robbie Tour, has managed to keep himself pretty calm at the moment, but we'll see if tempers flare, as this side have really struggled to put a foothold into this one outside of the opening 5 minutes when they had two half chances, I should say. Beckham Hatch forces another clearance, deep throw in for Langara upside the right touchline. Adlam with the throw. It's knocked down by Bajgare. Monte, almost the first one there as he cut across the area. It's smashed clear by Capek. And Osadchi will be the first man back to corral it. Good turn by Amura, and he gets clobbered from behind. That will be a foul, and rightly so. Good call there by the referee. As Amura got a two-hander from behind. I want to say it was Matteo Falcone who was just a bit late to the party and crashed into the back of the number 3 for Langara. Bajgare with, I want to say it was Pena, draped all over him. Forced into an error there, Luciano. Surrounded by 3 white shirts, and he just can't get away from them. He's going to try and get it off Nakanishi. Nakanishi gets rid of it just in the nick of the time. Osachi comes away with it now in the left channel. Good switch of play by Langara. Clip forward for Beckham Hatch. He's onside. He's gone the width of the park to get to it as well. Good job by Hatch. Ooh, tries to nutmeg his man there, number 23, Lamoth. Nakanishi with another good ball win. He's been immense in the middle of the park, just winning the ball, distributing it, finding his teammates, keeping them in possession, being open and available. Nakanishi's doing a lot of the boiler room work right now, and it's paying off. Kobe. Monte in a real scrap there with the Alamu, who ends up face down on the turf. Douglas do get the ball back, so his hard work does pay off. Alamu, it's given away though. Now in Amura forward. Gave it to Beckham Hatch, who then tried to spray it out for the on-running Shimada, who's won the ball back. Good job by Langara. They might lose the second or the first phase, but they don't give up on that second phase, and a lot of times it has paid off for them. Capek. Alamu for Luciano. Matteo Falcone offside. Luciano saw that, didn't play the ball in. Now he's got the overlapping run of Falcone. If he wants it, he's going to cut back inside. He's found a bit of a gap. He gets sandwiched between 2 players. Might have been a bit harsh from the referee because I don't think he was getting to that ball anyways, and it looked like Langara had position on him. But good job by Luciano to press the issue. We actually have a player down now for Douglas, as it's number 2, Milfries, perhaps just a bit of cramp. We're going to see a substitution as Sefer Irvani is going to come on, the number 14, in place of number 2, LJ Milfries. Probably 19 yards away, not far. And it's on an angle, and you can tell Falcone is already sizing up, wrapping a right-footed shot around this. Francois also looking at it left-footed, but he's going to have to take a couple more paces unless he wants to just try and place it. And it looks like he might just try and place it low around the wall. He tries to go through the wall. The wall does its job. It was Nakanishi who it deflects off of. Still alive, though. Luciano offside on the far side, and he blasts it against the fence in disgust. I've been there. Hey, I've been there. I can't tell you how many times I've kicked the ball against the fence in disgust, so I feel it. I feel it. Douglas trailing behind 1-0, 30 minutes gone, 60 minutes to go in this encounter as Langara try and get some points this weekend after a 3-1 loss yesterday to Capilano here at Willoughby Park. home of Vancouver Football Club of the CPL, the Vancouver Giants of the WHL, and of course the Vancouver Bandits local basketball team. Good headed win by Bajgari, and he's had a couple today. He knocks it down for Beckham Hatch, who in a real scrap comes away with it. He's been excellent today, Beckham Hatch. Nakanishi, Bajgari, Beckham Hatch. Ooh! Real decision there from the referee. It was almost a carbon copy of what happened to Luciano on the far side, where he was just clipped coming in between two shirts. The referee says no go. This one would have been a penalty as Bajgari was in the box. Luciano was just outside moments ago, but that was a real thinker for the referee, who you could tell he looked and he thought about it. But he waved play on, and I think that's the right call. Still 1-0, 32nd minute. Luciano dribbling, trying to get to the outside of Shimada. Shimada doing ever so well just to jockey him. It's forced all the way back to Pena. Pena's going to lace in across. It's got some float to the back post. Oh, the substitute Irvani got there first. It's cleared, though. All hands on deck for Langara, though, as it looked like it would be an easy clutch for Adcowley, but Irvani, the substitute, just poked his head in front of him at the last second, and it created some real havoc in the Langara penalty box. Pena now with Francois. Nakanishi. Oh, this is good. This is 2-on-1. Bajgari's going to get there. Nakanishi put the touch too far ahead of him. It's squared for Bajgari! His second goal in 2 games. It's a fantastic pass from Nakanishi, who looked like it might have just gotten away from him. But he calmly taps it to his cohort, who slides it home. It's 2-0 Falcons, and deservedly so with 33 minutes in the books. And Douglas are going to try and answer with some substitutes here. It looks like the number 19, Corwin Shiek, is peeling off his top. And it was coming at a time where it looked like Douglas were just starting to get some real estate, some area, claw back some territory in this matchup on this Willoughby Park. But Langara on the counterattack. Get it just right, and that's what they needed yesterday. They just needed that second goal, and I think it would have calmed them down ever so slightly. They'll need to hold on now. 2-0 with just under 60 to go. That's enough time for a Douglas comeback. Langara need to put their foot down on this one. They've been full value for the 2 goals, though, let's be honest here. They've controlled the run of the play. They've had the more gilt-edged chances. The passing for Douglas has kind of let them down ever so slightly. They just haven't been able to find that final pass in and outside the area. It's been good defense from Langara. Don't get me wrong, but they just need a little bit more quality in and around the penalty box. Do Douglas at the moment. And who knows, that could come in the second half. There might be a tired Langara squad who might lose their way ever so slightly. And this is a blast from halfway. Is it going to go in the net? Oh my goodness, my heart was in my throat there for Langara fans a little bit, because we have the angle right at halfway here, pretty much where our camera is. And if I was going off the flight of that ball, that looked like that was going in the net. So that was a good effort. I want to say that was Matteo Falcone who almost caught Adcowley off his line there, and had that gone in, I think that would have been a momentum shifter. So if you're a Langara fan, I'm sure you're counting your lucky stars for that one. And that'll be a stern lesson for Adcowley as well. I bet you he doesn't venture off his line again this match after seeing that. Good clearance to the left channel. Bajgari in a sea of bodies wins it down. Nakanishi had Pena on him, but slips a tidy 10-yarder through. Bajgari now finds Monte. Monte in the penalty box. Left-footed shot just over the bar. He's offside, though. That's a clever little play, though, by Bajgari. And he didn't look offside by much. But Monte's always a threat with his pace and with his juking and jiving in the penalty box. He's a very good dribbler. Oh geez, a bunch of crows just dive-bombed the broadcast booth. You don't get to see that on the camera, but a little behind-the-scenes knowledge for you. It's always one of the pitfalls of broadcasting these games outside, is you're left open to the elements, whether it's Mother Nature or some of her creatures. So those crows spared our blushes there, gentlemen. Irvani Cuts back to his right foot, still going Irvani. He's going to slice in a cutback cross on the deck, side-footed away by Nakanishi. Good work there by Irvani, who's been very good since coming on. He had a headed chance, and he got the better of Osadchi there, which is no easy task. Good tackle there by Monte. It'll be a corner kick as he gets the better of Alamu there. Douglas, though, knocking on the door. About 9 minutes to go here, plus stoppage, for them to try and salvage something. You know Mark Rizzardo will want his Falcons to get into the locker room with a 2-0 lead, so anything less than that, and I'm sure he'll probably give him that coach's look from across the room that can turn a man to stone. It'll be a left footer from, I believe, Kyle, right to the top of the area. Takeru Kaku wins it, but can only help it to the far portion of the area where Luciano is waiting. Pena now gets it off the foot of Osadchi, I believe. It'll be another corner kick, this time from the far side. It was Matteo Falcone, I beg your pardon. He'll go over to take that corner now. The wind has calmed down now just a bit here at Willoughby Park, so a little bit less whip on these crosses. The ball will actually have a proper flight and trajectory. Here comes Falcone, right-footed in-swinger to the near post. It's helped on. It took a deflection off of Osadchi. Shimada thumps it high up into the air, and it'll be another corner kick. Falcone again, right-footed outswinger, almost a carbon copy. This one deeper into the area, to the top of the 6-yard box, headed clear by Osadchi, who's now on his bike to try and cut down the second wave. Another cross from Falcone, a right-footed. This one right into the 6-yard box, headed away by Kaku, and then nodded out by Amura. Thumped right back into the mixer by Douglas, and Cowley was right there waiting for it. He blasted up the park, and Beckham Hatch will almost get it as Mark Rizzardo instructs his squad to move their line up. Douglas were just sitting back on the defensive line. And that's what Langara don't want to get into, is just sitting too deep. That's kind of what happened with them yesterday against Capilano. Cleared by Monte for Bajgara. He tried to flick it on for Rodriguez Zagara, who's fighting his corner right now with Irvani. It's a real tussle. He needs some help, though, does Rodriguez Zagara. He's not getting a ton of options. He still wins the corner kick. Positive play there from the number 23 for Langara. And the referee just asking for a bit more speed here as Langara are having a sip of tea and texting their aunt while they're at the corner flag. He wants to see it move along a little bit faster here. And it looks like Hatch, right-footed, top of the 6. Adlam threw himself at it. It falls for Nakanishi. He has a rip. That one goes over the bar. Good play there from Langara. Adlam was taking no prisoners on that aerial challenge, so it's probably a good thing he didn't get his head to it. Probably would have gone through the net with the ball. And Nakanishi had a decent look on the subsequent wave, but he just rips it over the bar from probably about 20 yards out. Nakanishi wins it down. Now, ooh, this might be a bit of trouble, as the substitute, 19, Corwin Schick, almost got behind Osadchi there. Just over 5 minutes to go here in this first half, plus stoppage. Can't imagine a ton of stoppage, though, outside of Milfreese and Rodriguez Zagara down on the deck for probably about 30 seconds each. There hasn't been a ton to stop play for. Alamu back for Pena. Pena sprays it centrally. Shimada, first time clearance. He was looking for Beckham Hatch, but the defender Kapek was there. Luciano trying to size up for a shot. He's going to tee up Pena. Takes a touch. Pena, right-footed shot! Took a deflection, which kind of handcuffed Cowley, but it took enough of the sting out of it, fortunately, for the neon green-clad keeper of Langara. And he just had to wait for the ball to roll into his mitts, and now he'll take his time getting the ball forward. And the past previous couple plays, he's just tried to lash it to Beckham Hatch when the Langara squad weren't ready. Now they get to set up their numbers just a little bit better, and Monte gets a ball over the top from Rodriguez Zagara. He tries the first time left-footed rip. I think he was trying to get that on the outside of the boot to try and bend it that opposite way, but it was always kind of peeling away from that far left post of Lutz's net. Good ball over the top, though, from Rodriguez Zagara. And good run by Beckham Hatch in the penalty box as well. I think if Monte squares that one up, it's a serious chance for Hatch. But Monte was being pressed by Alamu and had to get rid of the ball fast. Adlam wins the header there. Rodriguez Zagara tries to knock it down. It's picked up by the number 17, Krznaric. Just getting a visual of the Douglas coaches. Farivar Torabi, the assistant, Robbie Tour, the head coach. They just have their head in their hands at the moment. You can see the cogs kind of turning as they try and figure out what formation or what selection or what energy they can put into their players to try and spark something here. Because it's been very much all Langara in this first half, outside a couple of half chances to speak of, which were early in the half. Langara have controlled the run of play here. Bajgare tried to win a header into the area. He's boxed out by Capek. It's thumped clear now over the top. Osachi lets the ball bounce before side-footing it to Nakanishi. And back for Takaru Kaku, the scorer of the opening goal for Langara. Rodriguez Zagara now. Ooh, Nakanishi gets a smart one there. I want to say it was Krznaric who got him. Jacob Krznaric it is, and he's going to get a bit of a word here from the referee. Nakanishi's been excellent today, it has to be said. He hasn't really put a foot wrong. Kaku. Bajgare loses the header. Good play there by Bajgare to almost win it back. Just got a bit of him though. Irvani. 2 minutes plus stoppage here in the first half. But if you're a Langara Falcons fan, you'll be pleased as punch with this opening 43. Peña rakes the ball the width of the park. Ooh, good ball in for Peña. Can he size up a shot? Cuts back to his right foot. Thought about a cross. Now he does. Ooh, Shimada just backpedaled at the right time to nod it past Luciano. Douglas do keep it alive, though, on the far side. Luciano, right-footed shot. Just knuckles and dips at the near right post of Adkauli's net. Doesn't really trouble the keeper. Rodriguez Zagara tries a swerve ball in. Almost gets the better of Kyle on that far touchline. It's a good coming together between Kyle and Bajgare. And I'm sorry, but I think the referees got that one wrong, unless there was something I didn't see there. It looked like Kyle, it was a clean shoulder-to-shoulder tackle against Bajgare. It's just Bajgare was the one who went flying. Maybe he clipped him on the leg or something. And you can see the number 4, the defender, Capek, now lobbying his and his teammates' case there. Looked like a fair tackle to me. But Bajgare's in some discomfort, so maybe just a twist of the ankle, or maybe he clipped him, or a little knee-on-knee or something I didn't see there. It looked like a clean shoulder-to-shoulder tackle, but if Bajgare's in this kind of discomfort, then it must have been a foul there. 45 minutes in the books. This will add to the stoppage time as the Langara physio makes their way across the park. Looks like he's holding the left knee. You can see Omura and Adlam and Monte just having a discussion. Probably about 20 yards away in a huddle. The Douglas players now taking a chance to gather up and go over some of their tactics. 2-0 Langara if you're just joining us. Goals from Takaru Kako to open the scoring under just 10 minutes before Bajgare, the man who's actually down on the deck right now, slotted home on a tap-in to make it 2-0. And this would be a loss for the Falcons, you would feel. When Bajgare exited the game yesterday at halftime, they didn't really find their footing again. So they hope that the Iranian number 8 can find a way to continue here today. It doesn't look good, though, if I'm being honest. He hasn't moved a ton in the last minute and a half. He's getting picked up off the deck now by Rodriguez Zagara. Have to make his way off the park just for a second. He's getting helped off the park. This doesn't look good. And it looks like Mark Rosardo might try and look at some substitutes now. One player is up off the bench. I'm just trying to get a number through the training bib here. And they will hand the substitute slip over to the 4th official, just down below us at the center field line. And it will be a substitution. You can see Beckham Hatch making the substitute motion. And it'll be the number 16, Owen Holscher, who started yesterday's matchup against Capilano. Was busy at the front line of Langara. He'll insert himself into this one, and we'll see if they can continue the momentum they had, the Falcons, because they were rolling when Bajgare went down there. We'll see if we can get any update on the condition of Bajgare as this game goes on. Here comes the free kick. Beckham Hatch, right footer. It's got some swerve and it's got some height on it as well. Brave keeping, though, by Benoit Lutz, the number 22, as he rose head and shoulders above the pack to clutch and claim this one. And we might have a counterattack on our hands here. Irvani. Monte is on his bike, though, to try and cut that down. Good work by Monte. Irvani still going. It did come out. And it'll go the way of Langara. I can see the frustration there from Irvani. It looked like it kept itself in. There was a little bit of some verbal lobbying down there from the Douglas bench on that last one. The referee shut down any protest, though, fairly quickly. It did look like it might have gone the green way, though, so I understand where the protest might have come from. It'll be a corner kick on that far left-hand side as Luciano now asking for some options from Falcone. They do have an opportunity here late in this first half to try and get themselves on the score sheet, do the Royals. Low, hard cross into the area. It was dipping from Pena. Now Hatch just puts his foot on the ball. Now he'll thump it long. Rodriguez Zagara was on the chase, and they had a proper counterattack there. And the referee blows the halftime whistle. 2-0 for the Falcons, and deservedly so. After a very productive 45 minutes, the goals from Takaru Kaku, number 18, as well as Bajgare, who came off, the number 8. We'll see if we can get an update on his condition. In the meantime, though, we'll take a 15-minute break, and we'll come back with more PACWEST action here at Willoughby Park at the Langley Event Center in Langley, British Columbia, Canada. The Langara Falcons looking to take home some points for the first time this weekend. They're in a 2-0 lead over the Douglas Royals. Back with more PACWEST action in 15 minutes. Ready for the second half here at Willoughby Park. Men's PACWEST action. Langara leading Douglas 2-0 after the first 45 minutes of play. The goals from number 18, Takaru Kaku, and number 8, Tainor Bajgare, who is unfortunately left this match with it looks like a left ankle injury. We're still waiting to hear if he'll be able to return, but things aren't looking good for the number 8 of Langara. Of course, this is a double header weekend for Langara. They played a double yesterday against Capilano, both the men's and the women's side unvictorious, if that's a word. They dropped a 5-0 did the women's and a 3-1 did the men's to Capilano University. And then today they welcomed Douglas for the second portion of their double header. The women dropping 5-0 while the men currently lead 2-0. Now underway here in the second half. Langara playing in their all-white strip with a little bit of orange and black piping and trim. They're playing from left to right. And the visiting Douglas Royals in their familiar forest or royal green with a little bit of white piping and trim. They're playing from right to left. After the week 1 standings, Douglas number 2 in the CCAA, Langara number 4. Coming into this weekend. And we'll see how it all sizes up after the week ends, after a full sked of games. Rodriguez Zagara claiming for a handball inside the penalty box. It looked like it might have just come off the underside of the arm of, I want to say it was Krasnaric. And Douglas will win the ball back here. Good play there by Shimada to snatch in and win the free kick. He eventually does get the free kick. I thought it would have been whistled down a bit earlier, as Shimada creeped his way into the area. Good play there by the number 19 of Langara. And, you know, Mark Rosardo was lit in the fire under his squad today after the way the decision went against Capilano yesterday. They were in firm control as far as play was concerned, but they only had 1-0 on the score sheet. Capilano came back with 3 swift counterattacks and took the result, when over the course of the 90, you probably would have tipped Langara to win the game if you just saw the highlights without the goals. And I think Mark Rosardo wants to avoid a similar fate here today, because it looks like Langara have come out a bit more lively in the second half compared to yesterday when they had the lead coming out of the locker room. It's going to be Holscher, the substitute, the number 16, standing over this one. But they also got Rodriguez Zagara, who we know does have a left foot. It'll be Holscher steps over it. It's palmed right back into the mix, and Adlam thumps his effort over the bar. It'll actually be a corner kick, so it took a deflection. Rodriguez Zagara, I thought he might lift it over and try and go for the near post, but instead he finessed it and bent it around to the far post, and it really troubled the keeper there, Lutz, who all he could do was poke it back into the danger zone. A corner kick again for Langara. Beckham Hatch to take on the far left-hand side. Into the 6-yard box. Adlam's closest to it. It falls down. Kept alive by number 16 for Langara. Now back into the box again. Adlam again misses out. Nakanishi has a rip. That takes a deflection. That'll be a corner kick. It was Holscher and Adlam that were the closest to it on those last couple of sequences from the corner kick. There's a lot of shirt tugging and grabbing going on inside the penalty area. That's why the referees just stopped play ever so slightly, just to have a little word here. I mean, the tugging and the pushing continues to go on. It was number 17 for Douglas who got pulled down. Krasnaric. Might be a counterattack here for the Royals, as it's Luciano who was trying to burst his way through on that far right touchline, just couldn't get past Monte. And I believe it was Amura also aiding Monte. Luciano almost gets to goal side of Osadchi. Falcone. Pena. Kyle. He's going for a bit of a dribble now. Gets inside the penalty box. Almost got in between Nakanishi and Kaku there. But the Langara tandem just boxed him out. Matteo Falcone cuts it back, just a bit too much though, as he looked to squeak past Adlam, side-footed away, and Holscher will chase with Lamoth, who probably has the best chance for Douglas in this game, and that came in the opening 5 minutes. Heavy touch there from the keeper. He gets thumped over from behind. It was a bit of a sloppy touch, if we're being honest here. Had Cowley let the touch get a bit too far ahead of him, which baited the striker, the number 19, Corwin Schick, into crunching him from behind. And that'll lead a bit more time off the clock for Langara, which is just fine if you're a Falcons fan. 40 minutes still to go here, 2-0 for the Falcons. Kaku and Bajgare with the goals. Bajgare has since left the matchup. He's still down on the physio table, writhing in pain on his left ankle, which is now heavily saran wrapped and iced just down below us, where the Falcons physio bench is. Adlam wins the header straight up into the air. He's going to go for the second one. He does. He gets bodied over. That probably should have been a foul. Instead, Douglas allowed to play on. Monte, just got a bit too far ahead of himself there. Looked like his brain was working faster than his body wanted to comprehend, and he just ran past the ball kind of, and his counterpart, Alamu, clears it. Back up the right-hand side now. Beckham Hatch just in this right channel, making a nuisance of himself. He'll press Kyle near the touchline. Good chest down there by Schick. And to the path of Kuznaric. Good play there by the number 14 of Douglas. That was a real opportunity. My goodness. It was Irvani, who's been potent since coming on as a first half substitute. He just cut the ball back with a little bit too much sting. And it was almost a tap in there for Schick. Had he just been able to corral it, he had enough time and space to take a touch if he wanted. The ball's just played in with so much zip that it rebounded right off his shins into the waiting arms of the keeper, Ad Cowley. Good play there by Douglas. As it looks like they're starting to get a foothold in this game as far as sussing out numbers, possession, spaces, and passes. Another throw-in halfway up the half for Langara, who, as mentioned, won't want to be leaving this weekend empty-handed after dropping a 3-1 decision against the run of play yesterday to Capilano. Rodriguez Zagara, right-footed shot just wide of the right post. He was teed up expertly by Holscher there, and the ball was kind of bobbling when Rodriguez Zagara tried to get a hold of it. He went for placement, and he wasn't far off. He was probably about a ball width away from nestling it inside that, his right hand, the left hand post of the keeper, Lutz. Ball played up park for Luciano. He gets crunched by Osachi. Foul goes the way of the Royals. Omura takes a bit of a thumping, but gets right back up. The ball sprayed up that left touchline for Beckham Hatch to chase. This looks promising for Douglas as Falcone has options. He's got Luciano. He cuts it back. A little bit of space to open up on the left foot. Luciano in space for Krasnarch in the penalty box. Cuts it back. It's a shot come cross. It rebounds off the midsection of Osachi, and it'll be a corner kick for Douglas. Be Falcone to take this one, or is it Pena? Whipped into the box. It's Falcone. It's towed away. Pena's there to retrieve the pieces, probably about 30 yards outside the area. He'll hoop one back in. little bit too much lift on it. It carries over the net of Cowley, and it'll be another goal kick for Langara with 35 some odd minutes left to play here. Rodriguez Zagara to Adlam. Tidy little ball on the deck. Finds Shimada with some space to run into. He's got Irvani on his backside. Great switch of play there, albeit a bit shallow. He returns, served as Monte, and he almost picked out Holscher and Shimada. He probably could have held onto the ball there ever so slightly. Could have Monte. He had space and time and probably could have extended the attack, but Holscher sees that ball loop just agonizingly over his head. Adlam tries to clear it. It comes off the hand of Falcone, unfortunately. Falcone frustrated with that one. He'd found himself in a good position. The ball just hopped up on him and smacked against the underside of his hand. And the referee happened to be right there and wasn't about to show any leeway. Good clearance this time by Cowley right up the middle of the park for Holscher to knock back into midfield. Adlam wins the ball back. Good touch infield by Shimada has released Rodriguez Zagara. Slide tackle there from Irvani, puts it out into touch. Gives Douglas just enough time to drop and protect their area. A deep throw in for Shimada to sink his teeth into. Holscher in the heart of the area. Nobody else really there to assist. Beckham Hatch is now kind of cruised to that neck of the woods. Ooh, looks like Holscher got a smart one there from, what do I see, it was Capek. And it'll be a foul against Langara. The men in green get the ball back. The wind again really picking up here in Willoughby as you can hear the tent above us being shifted around and creaking. We've had patches of that this weekend. Yesterday it was torrential downpour sideways. Not pleasant. Today, a little bit sunnier, but the wind has held up for sure. Rodriguez Zagara tries to knot it into midfield. It's picked off by Pena, who himself tries to smash it up the park. Adlam will play it right back up Main Street for Holscher to try and win. A coming together of bodies there in Douglas. Sees Rodriguez Zagara come away with the ball. He's going to try and chip the keeper now. Ooh, and he almost got there as well. I think if that didn't hold up so much, that would have been a real try on net. And Lutz wasn't necessarily scrambling back to his net, but he certainly had work to do there as Rodriguez Zagara saw him off his line. Good layoff there by the number 19, Sheck. Unfortunately, he was just a step ahead of Falcone, but now Sheck's got it back off Adlam. Sheck takes a shot. Great block there by Osadchi, who's celebrating that one like a goal, and rightfully so. Adlam had just been done for pace and position, but his fellow defender, Georgi Osadchi, came back to spare his blushes. What a block there, as it looked like Sheck was just going to have an open rip on net. Irvani plays one to the back post. It's nodded on by Capek. But Omura just lets the ball bounce, lets Cowley fly off his line, clutch it, claim it. Just over 30 minutes to go here at Willoughby Park. Ball over the top, looks like it's found Beckham Hatch. He looked like he might have been a lick offside, but the referee, a linesman's flag, stays down. Hatch plays it between the two players into the box. Holscher takes turns, right-footed shot, great stop, the rebound! Comes off the post and goes in! It's Shimada, who brings out the double pistols to celebrate! celebrate. Great goal from Langara. Holscher stopped on the doorstep, but it was Shimada who pops in the rebound off the post. Langara just where they want to be. 3-0 in the lead with 30 to go. And it's just what Langara deserve over this weekend. It has to be said. They played some fantastic soccer yesterday. They were just undone by the soccer gods. Today, everything is going just right for the men in white, including Shimada popping home that rebound. Yesterday, that would have come off the post and gone the other side and gone out for a corner kick or something like that. Today, it took the right trajectory, took the right path, and guided itself into the back of the net. Good play there by the men in white. And it might take something miraculous now for Douglas to climb themselves back into this one. And it's a game of inches. We just mentioned moments ago at the other end of the park, it was Schiek who had a gilt-edged chance to bring them to within one, which certainly would have opened the game up. But a great block by Osachi, followed by some good forward play by Beckham Hatch again. Holscher, and then the finish by Shimada. Good play. Goals from Shimada, Kaku, and Bajgare. Schiek into the penalty box. Still going Schiek now, trying to size up for a shot. Tees up his man, Krznaric, who lifts it over the bar. Great play again by Douglas, who are creating opportunities. They're still alive in this game. They just need to find one in the back of the net. And perhaps that'll boost their spirits and get their tail up. At the moment, they're just having no luck when it comes to getting past Ad Cowley in the Langara goal. Ball clipped into the middle of the park for Schiek. He gets a touch, gets away from him, but he had a bit of space there. Schiek still going. Plays it to his right for Falcone. Handball there against Osachi as Luciano tried to play a one-timer around him. Dangerous opportunity for some free kick service here, probably about 25 yards out at the junction of the penalty lines in the right channel. It'll be Kyle, left-footed, standing over this one. A three-man wall. Mark Rizzardo has not made any subs yet as well. I wonder if he'll dip into his bag soon. Hit at the near post. It's headed away by Monte, who's rubbing his head after that one. It must have been hit with some kind of venom. Yeah, Mark Rizzardo yesterday made 3 subs at the halftime whistle, perhaps just to get fresh legs, but today he's going with the boys that brought him to the dance. Nakanishi draws a yellow card there. I want to say it was Luciano who got a piece of him. I could be mistaken, though. As Nakanishi, he might not be on the score sheet, but for me, him and Rodriguez Zagara have done a lot of the boiler room work, the dirty stuff in the middle of the park. And I don't mean dirty, I mean as unfair. I mean the undesirable jobs, the real roll up your sleeves and crash and bash kind of jobs. They've really done that for Langara today, and it's really allowed the players with the finesse, not to say that they don't have finesse, but the players like the Beckham Hatches, the Montes, the Holschers, to really do their thing as well. It's been a real good team effort from Langara today. Douglas they've looked a bit out of sorts as far as rhythm. They've had moments. I think Schiek has probably been one of their best players since coming on. He's had 2 gilt-edged chances. One was probably a goal. The other one, a fantastic effort. The one that was probably a goal would have been a goal had Osachi not flown in for a last-ditch tackle just to poke it wide, because that was headed for the back meshing of Ad Cowley's goal. So Douglas not out of this by any stretch. They just need to get a goal here, and they need to get one in pretty quick order. Falcone tries to lift a diagonal over the top of Adlam. He stoops down to head it clear. Nakanishi with Falcone on him like a cheap suit wins another foul. Good job by the number 6 of Langara. He keeps the ball moving forward for Rodriguez Zagara, and now Monte, who loves him a dribble. He's going to go for it, but Alamu did just enough to shepherd him and the ball off into touch. Alamu on a yellow card as well, so he had to be spot on with his defending there, and he was the number 16 in green. Good sombrero there by Falcone. He went for a double sombrero. And it didn't come off. Douglas do manage to keep the ball, though. Falcone for Alamu. Into the middle of the park looking for Irvani. Langara's been very good about cutting down passes today and shrinking down those lanes, so when it looks like Douglas does have a play to make, they don't have much time to pull it off, and Langara are usually pretty good about snuffing out the danger. Here comes Luciano. Still going Luciano for a dribble. Still going Luciano. He gets clobbered. He gets smothered by 2 or 3 white shirts there, and rightfully so. A yellow card is brandished. I think that's to Adlam, who I think just happened to be the guy who he ran into. I think Nakanishi might have actually been the guy who clipped him. It's going to be a dangerous free kick, though. About 21 yards out, maybe here. With 25 to go. And Luciano and Pena are the ones sizing this one up. The wind really whipping around here at the moment. We'll see if that changes the flight of this ball ever so slightly. Not a ton of distance between the keeper and the free kick. It's Luciano. He's standing over this one all day. Right-footed, shot into the wall. The pieces roll out. It will be a corner kick on the far right-hand side. Right-footed out swinger. It's Pena. It looks good. And number 13, Kyle, threw himself at it. He was ever so close. Luciano now, right-footed shot. Just got too much wrap around the ball there. He was looking to just scoop it into that top left-hand corner of Adcauli's net. And he was always kind of leaning back when he struck it, did Luciano. Krasnaric wins the header down. Well won in between 2 white shirts as well. Credit to the number 17. He wins it for Irvani. Infield now for Pena. Clever ball forward for Krasnaric, and this might actually be danger here. Sheck in the area. Can he lay it off for his man? He had Luciano running in. He could have used him. It's so unfortunate there from the Douglas point of view. Sheck had done all the hard work. He just had to lay it off for Luciano, who's now having a chat with him, telling him to just pick his head up for just a sec. They had the numbers there. And you wouldn't normally fault Sheck because he's probably been their best player on the park as far as trying to create something and being in that right position at the right time. But the play there was to move it to Luciano. Here comes Shimada now. Scorer of the 3rd goal. He'll hook it into the back post. Nakanishi's there waiting. Takes it down on his left foot. Right foot now Nakanishi. Back across the area. Low and hard. No one's there. Shimada made an effort towards it, but it was side-footed away by Capek. Here comes Douglas now. Pena. Switch of play, a great diagonal. Pena, in the last couple of seconds, has launched a couple counterattacks with some fantastic service. The Falcons will definitely have to watch him. Ball cut back now. Luciano over the bar on the left foot. Great play. Number 7, Falcone. Great dribble inside the area. He did everything right. The cutback maybe just bobbled on Luciano at the last second as he kind of just swung at it with the left peg, and it scoops over the bar again. Langara have to watch themselves. They've given up at least 3 or 4 half chances here in the last 10 minutes or so since scoring that goal, and I'm sure they'll want to button that up. They don't want to give Douglas any cause to celebrate or any real life in this one because it's been mostly Langara up until this last 10 minutes when the likes of Sheck, Falcone, Pena, Krasnaric, they've all come to life. Zagara on the dribble, shimmies and shakes Pena, back to Amura, beg your pardon. Rodriguez Zagara for Adlam. Nakanishi finds a bit of space, left-footed shot. Just not enough sting on it, and he kind of blasted it towards that post, and it was bobbling and bouncing and wouldn't really find a proper path along the turf. Substitution upcoming for Langara, entering number 20, Ryan Henderson, exiting. It'll be number 15, Kobe Monte, who's just a little, by his standards, I say he's been quiet, but he's still been busy over on that far left-hand side. So Henderson now into this one, the number 20 for Langara in white. We'll also see a substitution coming up for Douglas as well, as Liam Urker will come into the park, the number 5 in green. Alamu, Krasnaric. Ooh, good play there by Alamu as he kind of baited Holscher into the tacker there before skipping past him. Here comes Kyle. Square on Nakanishi. Now Matteo Falcone plays into the area for the onrushing Schiek, but that's side-footed away by Adlam. Holscher, ball gets away from him. Rodriguez wins the ball, but goes through the backside of Falcone to do so. That'll be a foul against Douglas, or I beg your pardon, against Langara for Douglas. Kyle, number 13, who's looked dangerous at times. He's looking for options, plays it back for Pena. Pena has a right-footed blast! Oh man, that had some serious sting on it. It looked like Adcowley had it measured. It was hit at a good height and dead central, but it was really smashed in there on a frozen rope. Good try there from Pena, who in the last 10 minutes or so has really come to life, and I'm surprised by this swap. I think Pena's coming off here. Is he? Yeah, they're bringing off Pena. What do I know? Number 5, Liam Urker, onto the park now. I thought Pena had a good shot there, and I thought he was passing the ball around nicely on some of the counterattack attempts there. So interesting move there by the coach, Robbie Tour, as he perhaps wants a different look here in this last 20 minutes or so. Good play there by Krasnaric. Irvani has it now into the path of Falcone. This is good 1-2 soccer from Douglas at the moment. They're moving the ball around nicely. Falcone, right-footed shot, comes off the crossbar from 25-30 yards away. That might have been the goal of the absolute weekend had that gone in. What a rip there from number 7, Falcone, who he's had a few really good efforts like that tonight, and I tell you, I say a game of inches a lot, but that's kind of been the tale of his game today. What a blast, what a shot. That was quality. I'm sure he'll want something more. Him and his teammates will want something more than that to hang their hat on, rattling the crossbar, but if nothing else, my goodness, what a shot there from Falcone. And you could tell the keeper, Adcowley, kind of resigned himself to defeat there. He's like, yeah, that's going in. But it rattled off the crossbar. Kyle spins his man, gets past Hatch, who's dropped back to do a bit of defending. Punched away by Adcowley, then he's cleaned out. No foul, says the referee. And this one will go out for a deep throw in. Good punch away there by Adcowley, who those can be real tough for the keepers. Those knuckling, dipping, swerving balls inside the 6-yard box that are right on top of the goal line. Just having an update now from the Langara media man, Sean Shook, down at field level, number 8. Taimur Bujgare, the scorer of the second goal for Langara. He was forced off at the end of that first half after he took a nasty crunching tackle on his left ankle. He won't return today. We're being told it's a bad ankle sprain. He probably could have stayed out if he needed to, but from the looks of things, Langara are doing just okay without him. Not to say that he didn't pull the strings in that first half. He was influential all weekend long, but I'm sure he's happy to have a rest while his teammates go out there and hopefully finish the job. 15-plus minutes to go here. And Bujgare, 2 goals in 2 games this weekend, so he'll be happy with his haul, as they say. Luciano trying to get to the outside of Osachi. He does. Good play there by Luciano. Cuts it back for Falcone. Krasnaric. Irvani now, overlapping run of Kyle, but Irvani just let the ball kind of bobble up on him, and it took a bit of sting out of the attack. Kyle now, left-footed service. It's a good one, right onto the penalty dot. Schiek almost got goal side of Takaru Kaku, but Kaku just dished right in the nick of time. Falcone, great play there. Still going Falcone. Left-footed cross. Knocked down. Irvani gets thumped over by Shimada, who wins the header cleanly. Took everything in the kitchen sink with it. Did Shimada, as you heard some of the Douglas protests at field level. A little bit less one-sided in this second half. Langara have definitely been put to the test here. Schiek, Falcone, Pena, Kyle, Krznaric, Luciano as well. They've all been busy in this second half. They just need a goal to show. Kaku gets a two-hander from behind. That'll be a foul. As the number 18 center back who opened the scoring today inside the penalty box. He's been doing it on both sides of the park. The man from Japan. Long diagonal ball. Shimada will be hard-pressed to get to this one, but he actually might get there. Just enough of a shield there from Kyle. Deterred Shimada from trying to chase that one down. Can't say I blame him. 14 minutes to go here and perhaps some tired legs. Mark Rizzardo's only made one sub though so far. I beg your pardon, two. One due to the injury. And then one moments ago when he brought off Monte for Henderson. Ball played a little bit riskily into the middle of the park, but Krznaric sussed out the danger, was able to pop it back for Capek, who himself now is being hounded by Rodriguez Zagara. Good calm play there by the defender to play around the danger. Raking diagonal ball. Adlam has to be clean on that interception, and he was. Bang on, actually. He gets it to Holscher. Holscher clips it up the line onside. Beckham Hatch is there. Can he get ahead of the keeper? He can't. The keeper just thumps it into row ZZ here at Willoughby Park. And that's off into the car park. Hope nobody was parked there. Was that you? Yeah, no, our cameraman, he said no, not me, so he's good. He's good. Another substitution here for Mark Rizzardo coming off. Beckham Hatch, who's been fantastic again here today. Always busy. Tyler McCall makes his way in now, the number 25 for Langara. Somebody get a souvenir back there? Yeah. Some youngster took home an autographed Langara ball just moments ago, I think. Another substitution as well for Douglas, as the number 9 Luciano will be coming on number 20 Cadence Mullen. Zagara. Adlam thinks about whipping in a cross. He switches the play. Actually, what a switch as well. Oh, an unfortunate layoff there. I believe it was Henderson there. Had he just knocked it back into the path of McCall, that would have been a real chance for both of the substitutes. Osachi taking on Mullen now. Good play there by Holscher. Pops it forward for McCall. He's got a bit of space to make up, and the keeper just played the game of chicken, waited for the ball to roll into his hands. Still 3-0 if you're just joining us. Takaru Kaku, Shimada. And gosh, I'm forgetting the other goal scorer now. Bujgari, that's right. Bujgari, that's right. How could I forget? Bujgari with 2 and 2 this weekend alongside Shimada and Kaku in this game. Has Langara up 3-0 with just over 10 minutes to go. Bit of a sloppy clearance there from Adcowley. Thankfully for him, Shimada comes away with it. Shiek and Adlam jousting for position. Two big lads there. That's, ooh. And Shimada, who inserted himself into that one, gets crunched by Shiek, who, let's be honest here, probably has like a 1.5 foot on Shimada as far as height. But not heart. Shimada's been all heart today. Another substitution for Douglas. Alamu, the number 16, who was on a yellow card, managed to keep it together. He's replaced by the number 18, Ryo Yoshida. Ooh. Good 50-50 challenge there, and that'll be a foul against Holscher as he gets clipped by the number 5, Urker. And I'll take just a bit of the clock and some time off of it for Langara. Rodriguez Zagara just taking his sweet time, plays it centrally for Amura. Lots of time to whip one in. Amura, he finds his man, side-footed effort. I want to say it was Henderson there who had popped into the back stick. He just didn't get enough purchase on it. He arrived just in the nick of time too. It was Henderson. Ended up being more of a tame pass to the keeper than an effort on net. Ball goes out of play there for Douglas, unfortunately. It looked like the substitute, Cullen, was able to keep it in. Of course, we'll be back next Sunday with another batch of Langara PACWEST action. 12 o'clock and 2:30 kickoffs respectively for the ladies and the men. After this weekend's double header, 2 games yesterday, 2 games today, a quadruple header as I'm calling it. Ooh, good play there by Amura, I beg your pardon. As he tried to get it to Henderson. He did get it to Henderson, but once again, Henderson's touch just let him down ever so slightly. He had received the ball in a favorable position, but it just wouldn't set up for him, or it was just a bit behind him. Falcone. Wide left for Kyle. Kyle cutting inside now. Tried to feather it to his right for Urvani. It comes off the right arm of Shimada. Falcone standing over this free kick, 25 yards out. He could probably put in a shot if he wanted to. We know he's got the quality. Was that a bit of a push from behind on Urker? It would have been harsh, I think. It was Adlam who had come together with him, but the referee says play on. Falcone, as mentioned, that right foot, as far as today is concerned, he's probably been the best for the Royals, rattling the crossbar from 30 yards on an absolute peach of a curling right-footed shot. Shiek's also had a couple of looks. Luciano, who just went off as a substitute, also had a couple pops from inside the 18-yard box. They just haven't been able to get it past Ad Cowley or the post. Good win there by Cullen. Capek. Bit of a pacey pass ball there from his keeper, Lutz. Kyle has it now. Infield, it's picked off by Amura. And now Rodriguez Zagara. Rodriguez Zagara just takes it right to the corner. Oh, good roulette there by Zagara to create some more space for himself. It was a bit of an interesting performance yesterday from Rodriguez Zagara. He just looked a step off of it. He came on in the second half as a substitute to replace Bajgare, but for me, he wasn't up to his usual standard. Today, however, he's returned to, I think, the Rodriguez Zagara that the Falcons fans know and love. He's controlled the play in the middle of the park. Him and Nakanishi have been a real handful for Douglas, and they just haven't really had any answers for them. Their managing of space and timing and passing and distribution has been fairly spot on today for Langara. Irvani in the penalty box. Irvani trying to get to the outside of Adlam. Shoulder down. Referee says no go. Referee says no go. Mark Rizzardo, I think, threw out the four-letter word. Of course, I'm saying dive. It actually will be a yellow card for simulation there, or maybe a protest, either or. Either or. I think it would have been a harsh penalty. It was a coming together of shoulders. I think Adlam had him for positioning. He was just forcing him to the goal line. And it'll be another yellow card for simulation or embellishment, if you want to use a big college word. Ad Cowley smashes it into the middle of the field. Holscher trying to stand his ground, just got a bit too much shirt in his hands there. I believe it was Kapek who he was all over. And Douglas will win it on a free kick. Adlam this time gets the tackle on Erdvani. Falcone returns for Kyle. Good bit of dribbling there by Kyle. Opens up. An opportunity for Falcone to put in a cross. He gets the ball back on a deflection. Now does Falcone. Adlam taking no chances. He's just going to hoof it off into touch. And it's still in somehow. That ball will go the way of Douglas. It was a heap of bodies and arms down there. It was the substitute, number 25, Tyler McCall, and the number 4, Filip Kapek. Adlam heads it down into touch. 4 minutes plus change to go here for Langara to hold on and claim their first win of the weekend. Good play there by Falcone. Plays it. Cut back for Krznaric. Now Pena lifts it over the bar. Was it Pena? I believe it was. I know he's come off as a substitute. I beg your pardon. It was Rio Yoshida on that last effort. Looking very Pena-esque, if I will say, as he just went to first time that one in from probably about 19 yards out. Good little bit of play from Douglas as well. It's kind of been the story of their evening. They've had some silky passing and they've gotten themselves into some great opportunities. It's just been that final touch that has let them down. Foul there, McCall on the back of Urker. Right call there by the referee. Urker goes to the corner flag, thumps Henderson, who keeps it alive. Good play there by Henderson. And then the subsequent clearance by Holscher is batted right back into touch. It'll be a Langara throw in deep by their left corner flag with 2 minutes plus stoppage to go. Ooh, good sliding tackle there by Yoshida, who wins it back for Douglas. Ball right up into the air. Nakanishi was the only guy who really had his eyes peeled for it. Rodriguez Zagara now takes turns on a dime, skipping between, gliding, drifting between green shirts. Look at Rodriguez Zagara go. He's on his bike now. Left foot. Can he cut it across? It's a shot. Good kick save there by Lutz. Good spell of play there by the captain, Rodriguez Zagara, as well, who shimmied and shaked 5 players, took a back heel, and then surged towards the penalty area. Good late run there from the captain of Langara. Nakanishi wins the ball back. Fantastic play. The number 6, he'll want to go for his tallies. Lays it forward for Holscher. Squares it up, does he? No, but it's an open net. Tap in for the number 16. Holscher gets his goal. Langara make it 4. Oh, Rodriguez Zagara was denied on the first try, but they kept the ball cycling. A tidy little rolled ball forward from Nakanishi, picks out Holscher. He stopped on the initial shot, but he slides home his own rebound. And it's a goal for Holscher. He joins Shimada, Bajgare, and Takeru Kaku on the score sheet. It's a 4-0 lead for Langara, and this one I'm pretty sure is done and dusted. If you're a Falcons fan, they will make a last substitution, as it looks like the number 10, Felipe Silva, will come on for Langara for some late minutes here for the men in white. Here comes the substitution. Rodriguez Zagara gets a hearty round of applause from his teammates, from his bench, and from the Falcons supporters in attendance here today. He was all over the park. He did the job that was required. Like I said, he didn't end up on the score sheet at the end of the day, but he was doing a lot of the grunt work in the middle of the park, let's put it that way. Mark Rosardo will be pleased as punch with his efforts today, as well as the whole squad. It's been a joint effort today from tip to tail, and I think the score reflects that 4-0. Douglas still knocking at the door, though, as Cullen tries to fly in for a late chance at Cowley. Will crutch down and clutch that one before thumping it right back up Main Street. Oh, Shimada gets wriggled through by Sheck. Great play by Sheck. He's never stopped trying the number 19 for Douglas. The likes of Vervani, Sheck, Falcone, Pena, Luciano, they've all put their best foot forward here for Douglas. It just hasn't been their day today. They have just not got the rub of the turf here in Willoughby Park. Perhaps one last chance here for Douglas to break the clean sheet. Oh, it bobbles off of Osadchi's left ankle. It'll go back out. Another corner kick upcoming. Left-footed float across all the way to the back post. Yoshida was the closest there. Just mere moments left in this one here. Langara, all hands on deck. Shimada will clear it into the middle of the park, and they make amends for their 3-1 defeat to Capilano University yesterday. Langara, full value for the 4-0 result. Takeru Kaku opened the scoring. Bajgare doubled their pleasure, and then in the second half they put it out of reach. Shimada on the rebound before Holscher slotted home a fourth, almost in stoppage time. It's a 4-0 result for Langara over Douglas. We'll quickly recap the 4 results from this weekend's quadruple header. Of course, yesterday Langara hosting Capilano. The Langara ladies Falcons dropped a 5-0 decision to Capilano, whereas the Langara men dropped a 3-1 decision to Capilano. Bajgare had the lone goal in that one for the Falcons. Today the Langara ladies 5-0. They dropped an unfortunate decision again, this time against the Douglas Royals. Whereas the Langara men, they did the business. They made amends for their loss yesterday against Cap U. 4-0 today. Kaku, Shimada, Bajgare, and Holscher with the goals. We would welcome you back next weekend, Sunday, the 22nd of September, for another doubleheader, Langara style. The women at 12, and the men kick off at 2:30. Thank you once again for joining us for PACWEST action, live from Willoughby Park and the LEC here. Good day, good afternoon, and good night. We'll chat with you next weekend.